Hello, yes, over 20 million views now for that Superman trailer, and I just think that's the amount of times I've watched it. I'm obsessed with it. I love it more and more. I just think it's the perfect piece of marketing, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I want to talk about my faults, things I noticed about the trailer that I haven't mentioned on previous videos, and my big Ultraman theory. But not only have I been repeatedly watching this trailer and having that amazing music by John Murphy, that beautiful rendition of the Williams theme on repeat, it just gets better and better and better. I'm sorry, John Murphy. I'm sorry I doubted you. I've also been watching a lot of fan reaction YouTube videos. What's very interesting to me is how they just don't get it. They really think they're going to watch 2.5 hours of corny camp, Superman grinning, saving cats from trees. I'm sure he will do that, by the way, as a callback to Superman 78. But there's going to be darker, deeper elements to this movie. They really believe that James Gunn is the kind of director that just tickles audiences under the chin. There was darker elements of Peacemaker, really darker elements. Same with the Suicide Squad. Guardians Volume 2, Guardians Volume 3 also had really, really dark, compelling moments. And this Superman trailer starts off with Superman plummeting to the ground, bleeding. Some people have complained about that. Where's all this hopeful stuff we were promised? Well, Superman's a hopeful character, but bad, I nearly swore, because this is going to be going off to Instagram, this video, as well as YouTube, and I don't know what language they tolerate. So, it's really funny to me seeing fan reactions, and one of the things I hate is when they go, oh, I didn't like Man of Steel, I didn't like the Snyderverse, it was so dark, but look at this, it's so bright and colourful. Yes, the colours are popping, and that's fine. The subtraction of the colour for the Snyderverse was fine with me as well. But why are you talking about what you didn't like? You just saw an amazing trailer of something you did like. Stop, being negative about the Snyderverse. That's happened. It's there for the people who love it. And for the people who don't love it, you don't actually have to consume it. So shut the hell up at the end of the day. So one thing I noticed was it's Luthor Corp instead of Lex Corp. I found that very, very interesting. Now, if you remember in the Smallville series finale, after Tess wipes Lex's mind, something happens and something smashes to turn it from Luthor Corp to Lex Corp. So it's kind of interesting that James Gunn's going with Luthor Corp and not Lex Corp. Now in Smallville, when Lex Luthor's a young man and Lionel Luthor is alive and well, it's Luthor Corp. But ultimately it becomes Lex Corp. In BVS, it's Lex Corp. In most of the comics, it's Lex Corp. So I'm kind of interested and it's a small thing, it's not even a nitpick, it's not even a complaint, but why is it Luthor Corp instead of Lex Corp? Could we have a Lionel Luthor in this movie? I'm telling you, that trailer didn't show us of most of the things we're going to see in this movie. He's hiding so much, so we will see about that. Then there's the Pa Kent that we saw. Now, at first I thought it could be a flashback to Clark's younger days. I don't think so. David Conswept looks very kind of how David looks in the modern era. He looks how he looked like in terms of his, youth and age when he's Clark Kent in the glasses or Superman. So I think that's present day Clark Kent on the farm. So I was watching a John Campea reaction video to the trailer and he was going, oh my God, isn't it a refreshing change that James Gunn's actually cast someone that looks like a farmer? Way up, Mr. Campea. This is not James Gunn, but I'm fed up of these shills kissing James's butt constantly, right? He was criticising the casting of Kevin Costner, Campea, not James Gunn. And then he was criticising the casting of John Schneider in Smallville, claiming that they look too good looking and too strong. Right, if that's present day Clark Kent, you can, you can understand why, if it's modern day Clark Kent, why that's an older, more frailer, slightly more overweight Jonathan Kent. Jonathan Kent wouldn't look strong in Superman's, when Clark Kent is an adult. And when he's younger, when David Conswett's Clark was younger, then Jonathan Kent would have looked slimmer and fitter. as he does in Smallville and in Man of Steel. That makes sense, right? So I don't understand this criticism. Finally, we've got a farmer that actually looks like a farmer. And people going the other way saying he doesn't look like a farmer. He doesn't look strong enough to be a farmer. I've got a little theory that Clark's coming to Smallville constantly and, looking after the farm, working the farm in between and being Superman and in between working at the Daily Planet. It wouldn't take him long to sort that farm out. We didn't see many animals on the farm. Some of it looked a bit overgrown, or maybe that's just the way that Gunn wanted to make it look. And the Kent farm, I must admit, seems to be a smaller scale than it was in Smallville, and a smaller scale it was in the Snyderverse as well. So that's interesting. Now, for my main point of doing this video, I was watching that moment when people are attacking Superman and that guy is throwing something like a can, a coffee cup or something at Superman's head. But I realised something. That is not Superman. It's Ultraman. If you look carefully, even the spit curl seems to be in a different area than it is in the beginning moment of that trailer, in the other scenes of Superman as well. And if you look at his costume, it's darker, and the symbol seems to be wearing out a little bit as well. So I think that's definitely Ultraman. Also, when he goes inside and he's standing by the Stag Industries symbol, I think that's also Ultraman as well. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. But why are the public angry at Ultraman? For the longest of times, I believed that James Gunn was going to kill Superman in this movie. What if Ultraman kills Superman in this film and then takes up the Superman mantle to redeem himself? Now, I think it's pretty clear that David Corenswet will play Ultraman as well as Superman. Now, we know that Ultraman's face is covered up, so there's clearly going to be some kind of reveal at some point. There is a Henry Cavill theory. It could be another Superman actor or someone who's been in Superman media before. But I believe it's David Corenswet playing both roles, as most of us do. So it wouldn't be that a big a deal for Ultraman, played by David Corenswet, taking up the Superman mantle and becoming Superman and taking up that brighter costume and having to redeem himself. And I would be fine with that. What I wouldn't be fine with is Superman dying and Supergirl taking on the Superman mantle. And I was very concerned from the beginning when I heard the title was Superman Legacy, because we really know what the word legacy means. Now, James Gunn claims the reason he took the legacy off because it was hearkening back to the past, and this is a movie looking to Superman's future. We'll see. We'll see about that, but I was very, very concerned. And if you tag him about it, he doesn't get back to you on it. Not that he replies to me a great deal, quite rarely these days, by the way. Maybe he's seen some of my videos because I have balanced takes. I'm not always waving the James Gunn flag. I speak as I find. So I think that's where we're going to go with Ultraman. I think that Ultraman is either responsible for Superman's death or becomes Superman. But he may have nothing to do with Superman's death. But it's interesting why people would be booing and attacking if that is Ultraman, who looks exactly like David Corenswet, because he is David Corenswet. So that's interesting. So I don't think they're attacking Superman in that moment. And that changes the whole complex of what we thought we saw in that teaser trailer. Maybe they're going with the whole All-Star Superman thing where he's infected by a solar flare or the sun, whatever. He's dying in the movie. And it makes sense if you think about it that he's dying in this movie, because when he plummets in the Arctic, someone on X Twitter made a lovely point, a great point, not a lovely point, but a great point. Why isn't he healing once he lands? Because he's in the vicinity of the sun. The sunlight should be healing him. If he's dying, then he's not healing throughout the movie, and he's getting weaker and weaker throughout the movie. So when we see him indoors with Lois Lane, someone said, oh, why is he just sitting there while all hell's breaking loose? I'm assuming the other metahumans are doing the fighting while he's trying to pick up his energy. but he goes out there with his final strength. So I do believe that he's going to die. Superman will die in this movie, and it seems to me that Ultraman will take up his mantle. I think it's a compelling way of doing things. I think it's an interesting thing to do, but there will be people, that will be annoyed by this. We'll see what happens. Because, as I say, people are expecting this, you're seeing the bright colours, people are expecting Superman 78. They want you to feel the Superman 78 vibe and the hopefulness of Superman in that movie, but it's clear that James Gunn does do deeper, darker takes, and you've all got to be prepared for that. So what do you think of my theory? Get commenting down below. Like, share and subscribe. But let me know what you think. Do you think that's Ultraman being attacked by the public in Metropolis? Or am I wrong? You can tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. It's just a bit of fun. But I did notice this while watching the trailer for the 80th millionth time. And that's definitely not Superman.